Hello and welcome. For those of you who are brand new to this channel, my name is Michael. For those of you who are returning, welcome back. You may notice that we are in a different location than usual, so my apologies in advance for any sounds or technical difficulties that may come up in this reading. I've already recorded a couple of these, and we have definitely been visited by the spirit of Mercury retrograde. Let's just put it that way. So I hope none of this is too distracting. Again, my apologies in advance. I do already have all of your cards pulled, and I have all of the links in the description box down below if you're looking for a reading or Reiki session with me. And honestly, I just want to kind of disclaim this energy feels sort of heavy. And even as I was pulling cards, I already knew what this reading was about. And I really want you to use your discernment ahead of time to figure out if this reading is for you, or even as you're watching this, really figure out how this feels for you. You will ultimately know if this is your truth or not, and if it's not, nothing went wrong. It's just not meant for you at this time. Honestly, Scorpio, we have to talk about soulmates and twin flames. That feels really, really important to me. I'm getting a very clear story here with the Eight of Cups. And it feels like there's kind of a situation with someone you're not talking to, someone you've already moved on from, or someone from the past. You had to leave something behind, and it was very, very painful with the Three of Swords. And Mercury has been retrograde this past month, so there's definitely been a lot of reflection, as well as Venus retrograde, on relationships, on connections, long-term relationships, long-term commitments, and your patterns. And if this isn't a soulmate or twin flame energy, this feels like walking away from something that really hurt you. It was really hard for you to distance yourself from something. And to get even more specific with some of you, I think knowing the astrology, maybe some of you didn't get into relationships or reach out to someone because you knew it was Mercury or Venus retrograde. Or you didn't respond to someone because you knew. That's, again, very specific. I don't expect that to apply to all of you. I'm actually just going to let the cat in here. Someone's trying to break in. Hi, Carmelita. So we have the cat who's trying to come back in, and again, it feels like there might be someone who's trying to come into your own life. Even with all of these disruptions with Mercury retrograde, I like to read them, especially when I'm doing a reading for somebody. It feels like there is someone coming back from the past because you have the Two of Cups here. And I really see that you tried to move forward with the Eight of Wands. This is kind of clarifying the Eight of Cups and Three of Swords from before. And the reason I want to talk about soulmates and twin flames for you, hey baby, is because we have a lot of focus on relationships for you this year. And I kind of wrote that for the year ahead, for the 2022 horoscope for Scorpio. There really is this searching for your soulmate. With the North Node in Taurus and the South Node in your sign, you have to let go of old stories, of things you once identified with, in order to feel connection again. And maybe you're feeling this energy as needing to be vulnerable. I see the Two of Cups as the courage it takes to be exposed to someone, to look someone else in the eye. We have the lion head here, which is a reference to the Strength card. and a reference to the willingness to expose yourself to another person, to be vulnerable, to be truly connected or intimate. I actually feel like for a lot of you, just being real, I feel like this is someone from the past who's coming in, or that you're thinking about a lot right now. For others of you, there's someone new, and you're not quite sure how to connect with them. You still have these wounds or these questions from the past. You did move forward. I feel like you did cut out this person or disconnect from this person. And the astrology this month is really interesting because one of your ruling planets, Mars, which kind of rules your mundane life, at least the way that I read it, is conjunct Venus. And that's going to be for most of the month. It's going to be most powerful on the 16th, which is actually the same day as the full moon in Leo, which is home, traditions. I'm thinking like domestic relationships. You could be thinking about things like living with partners, marriage. Am I going to find that person? Like that kind of comes up for me. Or I'm sorry, no, this is your 10th house. I'm still going to keep those messages though, because I feel like whatever happens is meant to come out in this reading. This feels very candid. So I feel like there's a lot of focus on relationships. We are in Aquarius season, which is your 4th house. All of that still applies. And like, what are you building on top of that? Feels important to me. I feel like you've done all the right things in order to move forward. You know, you've gone through the motions. You might have blocked someone. You might have stopped talking to someone. You might have had a talk with someone. But I still feel like you're carrying something here with the 10 of Wands. And you could just be working very hard. Maybe that is a reference to career too. That's just something else that's happening this month. And I feel like even as I'm doing this reading, I'm talking in circles, and I feel kind of bad because I'm like, Scorpio, we need to have a talk. And just with this energy, everything feels very circular. It's hard to be direct. The thing with twin flames and soulmates is like, I feel like some of you have this person in mind. You know who this is, you have an idea of who this is, and you haven't quite been able to let that person go simply because you had believed that they were your soulmate or your twin flame. And I'm just going to tell you right now, not all spiritual connections are meant to be a long-term relationship. Sometimes we need to let them go. Sometimes they're there for the contrast. Sometimes they're there for the lessons. It's why I actually don't like talking about these things on my channel. I think they're very toxic, or at least they can be used in very toxic ways. I do believe they exist, but I don't think it's what most people make it out to be. Or even if you understand that they're complicated and there's nuance to them, it's still hard to think of someone as your soulmate or your twin flame and to really fully let that go, right? And to not hold out some hope that maybe one day this person's going to come back. You need to make a decision. You really, really do. I feel like some of you have told yourselves you made a decision. Some of you, maybe you already have, and maybe there's just this thing where it's like, again, needing to commit to that decision, because the Two of Cups also represents a decision, a choice that you need to make. And I feel like even if you made the decision to remove yourself from someone, there's now a new relationship coming in. That could actually be with this other person. I am kind of getting that for some of you. The person who you were once involved with could be entering into a new relationship, or you're just sensing that's about to happen. And that scares you because it's like, once again, losing this person. Because I do have the moon here. You can't lose what you don't have. I'm going to be honest. And I feel like a lot of you are afraid of losing someone or losing a relationship because of the idea of what it represented. And you might be in a relationship with this person, but honestly, I feel like the majority of you I'm talking to aren't in a relationship with this person. You might not even be in contact with this person. And there's something about a journey, like climbing a mountain. And maybe for some of you, you grew up in a family or an environment where you believed that to love someone is to struggle for someone. I'm kind of getting like a Leo energy here, actually, because we have the Two of Cups, so we have the Lion head. We also did get a King of Wands and a Sun card for you. All of these reference Leo energy to me. And interesting that we have the Sun and the Moon together. I do kind of think of this divine counterpart, this divine contrast. I'm actually getting, again, very specific threads here. So these aren't going to apply to all of you. So take the parts that resonate and leave the rest behind. I actually get a lot of same-sex energy. So this could be male-male, male-female, could be male-female. There's something with gender that feels different. Maybe some of you are non-binary. Maybe you're dealing with someone who's non-binary. But I get like a same-sex attraction, actually. There's something about a same-sex attraction. I don't know why I'm getting that with the Sun and the Moon. They're both women in these cards. Maybe some of you are gay or queer or bisexual or pan. However it is that you identify. I feel like that's just some of you I'm connecting to. Anyways. There's a lot with the Moon that you need to let go of, or you need to really examine. And it's interesting, as I put these cards back down, I actually put the Sun where the Moon once was, and the Moon where the Sun once was. That's funny, because it is like you are gaining clarity here. The Moon represents this really intense emotion, uncertainty, gaining clarity on things, finding happiness, finding joy. This is still possible for you. And I really think it's like only you know what your truth is here in this situation about this person. With the words that I am giving you or sharing with you, you really need to make a decision. And maybe you've already made a decision and you need to recommit to that decision again. I pulled some moon cards for you as well, and I have a new moon eclipse. Expect powerful changes. A new moon, a new start is coming. There is a new cycle that is beginning for sure. And there's so much new energy here. I want to say there is a new relationship coming in for you as well. Like if your ex is in a new partnership and that's bringing up feelings for you, there is a new start. And I don't want to just like bait you with this, but there really could be a new start with a person from the past. Someone who didn't examine some trauma or beliefs, maybe both of you. You see things more clearly and you need to work some things out, even if that's just to let things go. It might not even be a relationship or a reconciliation in that way. But I feel like there's something about needing to clear the air in whatever way makes sense. And you don't have to talk to someone to do that either. Like you could write something out and like burn it or bury it. There's many ways that you can process this sort of loss or grief. But there's a powerful change that is happening for sure. I want to pull an animal card for you as well. I actually did not shuffle this yet. What is the animal wisdom for Scorpio? What is the animal wisdom for Scorpio? So I have a few cards here. Interesting. So I have the otter, which is very much about flow, being playful. I was kind of talking about this with Mercury retrograde. Like we need to be playful. We need to play with kind of the chaos of life. Get wet. dive in. And I also have the Hawk and the Lion, which is interesting because these same two cards came out in the Capricorn reading as well. So if any of you have Capricorn placements, there might be something there for you too. But I see that there is this different perspective that you're gaining, messages perhaps. Because I think of Hawk as a messenger. And again, Lion, Leo energy, interesting, very, very interesting. Some of you could be dealing with a Leo energy. That could be Sun, Moon, Rising, or even Venus, Mars. That could be something that comes up. There's something about Leo energy that's really, really important for you, and that's going to perhaps be around this full moon on the 16th, right before we enter into Pisces season, which is this playful and creative time for you. Maybe that's when things kind of shift. I feel like some of you are focusing on work, or maybe even using work as a way to distract yourself from your emotions, and that could also be changing around this full moon. And I just, looking at these cards, I really just want to speak to this. Like, you need to be able to be vulnerable, Scorpio. That is the message for you this entire year. If you haven't read the year ahead horoscope that I wrote, I really recommend that you check that out on my website. It's the 2022 year ahead forecast. I wrote horoscopes for all the signs as well as a general reading for the collective. Interesting. So right now what just happened is this door tried to open, but it couldn't because there's this ornament that is keeping it closed. There is an opportunity that is trying to open itself to you, and this feels like love, actually. But there's still something that you're hanging on to that is preventing this new connection from taking place, from being open to this new person. You've got to process something, Scorpio. We've got to, deal with this. And I keep getting this Leo energy. Maybe the person who's coming in is a Leo or has Leo placements. Or just has Leo qualities, if nothing else. But yeah, with this Two of Cups, with this door that can't fully open, the Two of Cups isn't about someone coming in to sweep you off your feet. It's about two people who are emotionally fulfilled, who have a cup that's already full, joining together and seeing eye to eye. And that takes two people. I feel like whatever happened in the past that hurt you is now making it difficult or impossible for you to open up to somebody else because there's still something that needs to be healed or resolved. And I am noticing that the battery light is now flashing, and we're pretty much at the end of this reading anyways. I hope that this reading was helpful. I do hope that it gave you something to consider, to think about. There is a powerful new beginning here that's trying to take place. And I see a lot of hope with the sun, that I think there's going to be a turning point for you this month. But it feels like there's one last thing to process. All of my links are in the description box down below. If you want to get a reading or Reiki session, maybe we can help move that energy or work together to figure out how to move forward. I feel like, I just want to say one more thing. I feel like with the astrology, there is something about family expectations or traditions or societal expectations that are also contrasting on relationships with this Leo and Aquarian energy that we're in right now. And some of you need to process that. Maybe that's that same-sex thing. Maybe you're in a relationship that isn't traditional or wouldn't be accepted by your family. Sorry, I felt like I needed to throw that in. Anyways, I will see you all in the next video, Scorpio. I hope that this was helpful. I hope it wasn't too circular. I'm very affected by Mercury retrogrades. I'm very excited for it to be over on the 4th. And I will see you all in the next video. Take care.